What's up, yo? Welcome back. We got 88 athlete and old school labs athlete Miguel Paula with us today. He's going to show us his top 5 shoulder exploding exercises. But first, how you doing in your prep, big man?
Oh man, prep is going great right now, coach. We're 10 weeks out from the show, hitting macros hard, nutrients hard, hitting the workouts hard, staying on track with everything. You know, we just switched up the split a little bit. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. But we're dialed in right now.
Absolutely. How much weight you down?
I'm down to 214. We started the cut from 235.
My man. 21 pounds, y'all. Holy smokes. We're coming, baby. What show is it?
We're doing the OCB Chesapeake Classic on October 12th down in Baltimore.
You got it. Going for that pro card, baby.
Yeah.
All right, stay tuned for some shoulders, y'all. All right, y'all, we're talking about shoulders today. Remember, your shoulders are made up of 3 different muscles. You got a front, a side, and a rear. And you know Miguel's gonna explode each one of those heads, y'all, right?
That 3D muscle.
You got it. All right, Miguel, what's your first exercise?
We're gonna do front raises and superset them with lateral raises.
Outstanding. Great start. Good warm up, isolating your front head and your side head. Let's see what you got, big boy. Yes, sir.
I actually like to do underhand front raises.
Yep.
And I go like this.
One at a time, too. Outstanding. You don't see underhand a lot. Why you do it underhand, big boy?
So I feel like it's a little bit better on my delts for me. When I go overhand grip, I feel a little bit more pinching. I do what's better for my body.
Yes.
I listen to it, and I feel like it isolates this part right here just a little bit better. You can see it.
Yep.
You know, when I come like this, I feel like I'm recruiting some of the outside head
Sure.
of the delt, rather than when I do this. This focuses purely for me
On that front head.
on the front head of the delt.
My man, he killed it. There's been studies out there, the new studies show underhand hits the front delt even more than overhand, just like Miguel said. Outstanding.
Perfect. And then we're gonna go right into
Side raises.
right here.
Boom. Why'd you pick this one, big boy?
These I like because it builds that shelf outward. It brings the width to the shoulders.
Yes, sir.
You just said we're trying to do that 3D muscle.
Yep.
So I'm trying to see it all around.
Say that again. It brings width to the muscle. You want width to your shoulders. Wide shoulders makes your waist look smaller. You got it, big boy. Side delt isolates the side delt, builds width. What are some mistakes you see people doing with these two exercises?
With those, well, some mistakes I used to do and I've learned from is locking the arms out like this, keeping them fully straight, and then taking them too high. That's something that I used to do. I feel like I overextend. You want to do this like fly motion almost, and you recruit way more muscles than just the delts. I'm trying to isolate these heads so I can blow these up and not get the rest of the body into it.
Great tip. Those are 2 isolating exercises. He wants to isolate the shoulders, nothing else. What happens when you come up too high, you're getting a lot of traps. You start recruiting trap, and your delts start letting go. So great tips. Stay tuned. We got more, baby. All right, so we started with front and side raises. Isolate the front and side delt. What we got next, big boy?
Now we're gonna get into rear flies because like we said, 3D muscle, we've hit the front head, we hit the side head, we wanna bring it to the back.
You got it. Front isolation, side isolation, and now rear delt isolation. And check my boy out. Holy smokes, does he look good. Look at that rear delt right there. Bring it back, hold that for a second. Right there, holy smokes, you can see it working. Good work, big boy. Don't neglect your rear delts. It's the most neglected muscle out there. And as Miguel keeps saying, if you want those 3D delts, you gotta have rear delts. If you don't, you only got 2/3 of a delt, right? All right, so we got him here. This is called a cable crucifix. He can extend the range of motion, go all the way across because he's on the cables, right? Come out, squeeze the rear delt, and then back down, just like so. So what are some mistakes you see on this one, big boy?
These some mistakes I've made for myself in the past and things I've learned from is extending again too far out, going past that optimal range of motion. I like to feel it right in there, get that tension right here.
Yes.
Ease it back. When we get around this point, I've learned this from you. You don't want to let the muscles go slack. You want to keep that tension at the bottom so that the muscles can stay engaged the whole way.
Got it, baby.
And then pop them back out.
Great tips. Keep your rear delts engaged. And if you didn't hear them, don't come back too far. Once again, you're going to recruit too much trap if you're going too far. Matter of fact, if I want to do a different exercise for traps, I'll do a rear delt fly, but bring them up higher and further back and squeeze the traps as opposed to out here where you're squeezing the rear delt. Great tips, great exercise.
Learn from you.
Yes, sir. Stay tuned. You know we got more coming.
Hey, welcome back. Here we are again talking about shoulders. Coach is about to get into the next set right now. We're going to keep it in the rear delts and do some face pulls. Perfect, just like that. You see as he pulls and contracts, how these muscles engage all across the back right here. And this is what we're looking at, is these rear delts, that 3D muscle popping out, creating a full round head on the shoulders. That's perfect.
Great exercise. One of my favorite rear delt exercises. Just remember, you get that squeeze when you pull back and focus on that rear delt. So you pick 2 rear delt exercises in a row. Tell us why you did that.
So with these, when we do the flies, again, like with their lateral raises, that's gonna add the width to the back and to the rear delts. When you do this pull right here, you're adding the depth to it. So we're gonna get the wide muscle and then we're gonna get the deep muscle tissue as well.
My man, hitting it all over, y'all. I told you it's 5 explosive shoulder moves. So stay tuned, we got more, baby. All right, so we isolated all the heads of the shoulder. All right, we pre-exhausted the front, the side, the rear, and then the rear once again. What we got up next, big boy?
Now we're gonna get into another superset. We're gonna do military presses followed by Arnold presses.
Yes, and military press and Arnold press hit all 3 heads at the same time. So we isolated them all. Now we're hitting them with a compound move. Let's see what you got, baby. All right, traditional military press here. Any tips you got for this one, Miguel?
So something I like to keep in mind is imagine that you're loading that weight up to the top of the shoulders right there, and then pull it back down, and then up, and guide it back.
Good.
You don't want to let them drop down because in that negative range is where we're going to build more muscle and strength, but also we're going to prevent injury.
You got, hey, great tips right there. If you're dropping it, you're not working the muscle, and you're probably gonna get hurt.
Here.
There we go. Superset military press. Now we got the Arnold press going. Why did you pick the Arnold press, big boy?
Arnold's, man. Explosive. They hit all heads of the shoulder.
It does.
They're gonna blow them up. And Arnold said that these are one of the best exercises that he did for his shoulder growth. And one thing I like that he did a little different is he actually comes out like this.
And then presses.
Yeah.
Yep.
You get that full range.
You're getting a bigger range of motion. You're getting more time under tension. And you're hitting all 3 heads more specifically with this move. So Arnold was dead on. Miguel is dead on. And if you superset military press with Arnold press, your overhead press is going to be straight up smoked. And what we keep saying, you're going to explode those shoulders, y'all.
Absolutely.
All right. Any mistakes you see people making other than dropping it down?
Dropping it down. So with Arnold, sometimes you see people, I think they flare a little bit too much with them.
Going out too
Or I
hard.
see people do like this, where it's just a straight
Right.
right here.
Instead of arcing out.
And you don't get that full range.
Gotcha.
So I learned that from Arnold in one of his documentaries.
Hey, great tips, and who can argue with Arnold, y'all? Stay tuned, you know we got more coming. Yeah!
Welcome back, 88ers. We're here with the last shoulder exploding exercise that we're doing today. We're gonna go into a high row. Hands are gonna be just a little bit wide right there. And coach is gonna row this barbell up. Perfect, just like that. And as you can see, these delts are engaging. Right here, they're firing in the front. You can't see from here, but on my angle, they're firing in the back too. He's getting this nice round head on the shoulders working. After this, after doing those other exercises, our supersets, delts are gonna be 3D for sure. You're gonna see all 3 heads popping.
Hell yeah.
Muscles are gonna be going crazy.
That's right. Any mistakes you see people make on this one?
I feel like sometimes, again, is range of motion. A lot of times it's that negative and it's coming up too high. You don't want to come too high. What you're doing is perfect. Elbows being parallel with the shoulders, not breaking that plane and keeping the tension right into the delts.
Great tips, y'all. Great tips. I'm gonna give you one more. If you gotta do this, it's too heavy.
Lower that weight.
Lighten the weight. And once again, if you go too high above parallel right here, like Miguel said, if you go higher than this, it's traps, y'all. So no need, unless you want to work traps, no need to go higher than that right there. Great tips, great exercise. Stay tuned, we're gonna recap this, baby.
Hey.
All right, y'all, right before we recap, we're gonna let Miguel, old school athlete, throw some products out there for y'all. Check it out. What you got for us today, Miguel?
All right, so I brought a few of my favorites in with us today. Right here, we're gonna start with the Vintage Base. This is just some really good base vitamins. This is stuff that you need for joint support, for just overall nutrients to the body, like your micronutrients
Sure.
that you might not be hitting. They're gonna be in here with you.
So, for supplements and nutrition, I look at it as a puzzle. If you're missing a piece of the puzzle, you're not gonna get the results. This is a missing piece of the puzzle if you're not taking it.
Absolutely.
Just had to add that real quick.
Right in here, that Replica GH. So the name sounds kind of weird, but this is just a bunch of amino acids in here. A whole bunch of L-glutamine, a whole bunch of lysine, stuff like that. We're gonna branch chain aminos are gonna feed the muscles. That helps actually promote that protein synthesis in the body. So it's gonna help with muscle or protein absorption, and we're gonna help grow the muscles more.
Good stuff. So Miguel, I hope you don't mind me saying, is a natural athlete. This makes your body naturally produce more growth hormone.
Yes.
So every natural athlete out there should be taking this thing.
I'm gonna save this one for last. We're gonna go into the classic creatine. Of course, creatine is one of the most studied supplements on the market. There's been so many tests done on it. 5 grams of creatine a day for your athletes that are trying to build muscle and sustain that muscle mass on your body. And then of course the essential Blast Max pre-workout. This is a high spin pre-workout. If you're looking for something a little bit lower, there is their regular Vintage Blast. But for me, I need a little bit more of that.
My man, that's right. This is the one Camille likes as well, y'all, in case you were wondering.
That flavor's phenomenal. And then we're gonna get into my favorite new guy right here. This is the newest supplement released by Old School Labs. It's Turkesterone with Tonkat Ali. Hopefully I said that right. But I've been taking this for about 2 weeks now, and this is said to help improve your body's natural production of testosterone. So we're not adding testosterone, we're not taking anything crazy like that, but this is gonna help my body unlock its natural potential to produce more testosterone by itself.
Outstanding. And you've only been taking it for 2 weeks. Have you noticed a difference?
Definitely noticed a difference. In the first 10 days, I started noticing a difference in my recovery time. In the next couple days after that, I've definitely noticed a strength increase in the gym.
Heck
Weights
yeah.
have gone up across all sets about 5 to 10 pounds on my lifts.
My man, I hope y'all heard. Give them your code so they can order it, baby.
Code
Because
for this, if
you
wanna
heard
send
that,
someone,
y'all.
OSL Miguel. That's OSLMIGUEL. And you'll save about 15 to 20% when you use my code.
Strength went up, recovery time went down.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly what you want, y'all. So help my boy Miguel out, help yourself out, order these products, and this is brand new. This is stuff I've never heard of till 10 days ago.
Yeah.
So, and the man taking it saying it's working, so check it out, y'all. All right, stay tuned, we're gonna recap this video. Right, y'all, thanks for staying tuned to the end of this video. Let's recap, baby. So we started off with all isolation exercises. Remember, your shoulders got a front, side, and a rear head. We hit them all to start. So we started with the front and side raise superset. You got any tips, anything we forgot to say on that one?
I feel like we covered it, but just to recap on the tips, make sure that you're keeping the tension in the muscles the whole time. Don't let them go slack. and don't break that parallel plane when you're doing your shoulders. And try to keep that tension in the delts so we don't recruit extra muscles, because if you want to grow traps, sure, but right now we're trying to focus on the delts.
Great, my man. We're focusing on delts, don't work your traps. Well said. Another tip, if you have to rock to get the weights up, it's too heavy.
Way too heavy.
Lighten it up. Your shoulders are pretty small muscles, especially when you're isolating them. So they don't take a whole lot of weight. If you're strong, of course, do your weight. But if you're just throwing the weight around, that's not making muscle. Focus, squeeze, and focus on the negative, right? All right. After that, we went to the rear delt flies, the cable crucifix. What's some good tips on that one, baby?
We're gonna just keep, sorry if I sound repetitive, but we're gonna keep that tension in the muscles. We don't wanna break that plane on the back. We don't wanna flare the elbows. We wanna engage and try to maintain a mind muscle connection into that rear delt so we can really feel that, feel that pull stretching across the back muscles.
Fantastic. And I noticed, and I should have said it earlier, but I noticed you didn't use handles. You just grabbed the balls. Why did you do that?
So for me, I feel like I get a little bit better muscle recruitment when I do that. When I've used the handles before, I feel like you're gripping with the forearms. You can do a little bit more tugging motion or something. When I'm like right here, I feel like my delts are locked in the whole time. It could just be me, it could be a placebo effect, but I like the way that those feel a little better.
Can't argue with the way it feels, y'all. He feels it better with the balls. I would highly suggest you try it. I'm calling them balls, they're stoppers, y'all. This right here, grab it right here. You can feel it more, he can feel it more. I've done it and I agree. You can feel it more on your rear delt. All right, after that we did face pulls.
Yeah.
Good tips on that?
Face pulls, like we said, we're gonna keep these, we're gonna keep the elbows parallel with the shoulders. We're gonna pull them back. We're not gonna break that plane. Tension back, tension's back here. So when we do this, we're gonna build that depth into the muscle. Again, with our rear flies, we are adding width, and then we wanna put depth in it so we can see wide and deep.
Absolutely. Do that again. Right there. What happens when you come back further? See all that? That's all trap, y'all. So keep them parallel with your shoulders, squeeze the rear delt, and they'll go back forward. Keep them engaged for the negative. Don't come back too far.
Yeah.
Great tips, great exercise. All right, we isolated all the heads of the delts. Now we're ready for the compound moves.
Yeah, the big boys.
The big boys. We went to military press, supersetted with Arnold press. Boy, that's nasty. And after you isolate all of them, you're probably not gonna be able to do the weight you could normally do on a military press. What's some tips, big boy?
So I like what we did first, like the pre-exhaustion, because then you can hit that weight and focus on maybe a lighter weight, but it still gives that same muscle building to the shoulders. So the tip for the military presses, again, we're gonna try to imagine you're loading the weight through your shoulder right here. Press up, when you feel it, guide it back down, and then keep that motion. And then with the Arnold's, what I like to do for myself is what Arnold said himself, is you wanna get these elbows out like this. You wanna get that full range of motion into the delts so that you engage all three heads in this one movement.
Great tips, y'all, great tips. And Miguel said we're pre-exhausting on purpose, so you don't have to do as much weight. You're still gonna make as much muscle. You're still gonna push as much weight as you can. Just realize it's gonna be a little bit less than if you start your first exercise with a military press as opposed to pre-exhausting first.
Absolutely.
That's why we're doing it, right? All right, then we finished with the high rows, baby.
Yes, sir.
What's some good tips on that one?
Good tips on that. Again, I'm sounding repetitive, but we don't want to break that plane with the elbows. We want to keep the elbows parallel with the shoulders. So like Coach said, we're not engaging our traps too much.
Yep.
We want to keep the deltoid heads hitting, and when we pull up here, tension back down, and I'm gonna steal yours. You don't want to be rocking with it because we're not trying to throw the whole body into it. We're just trying to grow the shoulders.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just working shoulders, just shoulders, not traps, not lower back with the rock, just shoulders. We're just working shoulders today. All right, y'all, there you have it. Miguel Paula's 5 exploding shoulder exercises, baby. Hey. They're all great ones. They're gonna explode your shoulders out. Check them out, give them a try. Miguel's 10 weeks out, baby. Yeah. You're gonna see some more Miguel. You're gonna watch him. He's gonna win that pro card in 10 weeks.
Coming for it all.
Stay tuned, baby. Thanks for watching 88 Fitness. Like and subscribe.